Menopause Warriors, welcome to my channel. I am Kate and I share menopause related stuff with you every Monday. Today is going to be slightly different. I'm going to do a trivia quiz with you, and they're pretty simple questions, but I'm going to give you the questions and then the answers so you can see what your understanding of the menopause is, because sometimes we think we know more than we do, and sometimes we actually do know more than we think we know. And so I thought I'd give a few. That's about 17 questions and we'll go through them. They're pretty simple. None of them are too challenging, but I have to watch them. So I've got them listed on my screen here. So the first one is, what average age does menopause typically occur in women? We'll wait a few seconds. 51. That is the average age, but I think it's really important to understand that we are all completely different. And while I even heard of somebody who went to menopause at 13, but normally it's around sort of late 40s to early 50s. I went through mine quite early. I was done by, when was I done by? So about 48, I was completely beyond it. So yeah, I think it's useful to know what the average age is, but don't, if you're before that, don't worry. And if you're after that, again, don't worry. That is just the average age. Next one, what is surgical menopause? What does that actually mean? Let me give you a few minutes, a few seconds. You know what a surgical menopause actually is. Okay, a surgical menopause is after an oophorectomy has been performed. So essentially it has removed your ovaries, and the ovaries are what deliver the eggs. And when we no longer have ovaries, we no longer have eggs, which means we no longer have periods. And surgical menopause can happen for a range of reasons. Often an oophorectomy is performed as part of a full hysterectomy, not always. But that is essentially what a surgical menopause means. And obviously, once you've had that oophorectomy or your hysterectomy that's removed the ovaries, you essentially are thrown into immediate menopause. So it's highly likely, if not always, suggested that you would take HRT to help you manage your menopausal symptoms. I think it's really hard. There's a lot of stories surrounding surgical menopause which are really doom and gloom, but I also know, well, I work with some ladies who've had surgical menopause, and because they've kept themselves they've kept themselves healthy and fit before they've had to go in for their surgical menopause, their symptoms that they've had as a result afterwards have been nothing like as bad as they thought they might be. Normally hot flushes are the main one that they struggle with, but beyond that, it's not been as serious or severe as they thought it might be. Now, if you've had a surgical menopause and you've been thrown into the absolute depths of despair, please don't think, oh my God, there's something wrong with me. There's not. But if you can, one of the best things that you can do is manage your stress effectively, because our adrenal glands do the job. They back up the job of the ovaries when the ovaries are no longer working. So if you are able to manage your stress effectively, cut back on the things that really stress you out, make sure that you are feeding yourself well, you're drinking loads of water, you're prioritizing your sleep, even if sleep is difficult to get. That will, in combination, help reduce the amount of symptoms that you suffer, because, like I say, adrenal health is absolutely tied into how we experience symptoms. And also, if you're getting a lot of stress in your life, as our estrogen levels fall, our cortisol levels rise. And as our cortisol levels rise, so does our insulin, which is our fat storing hormone. So if you can manage your stress more effectively, you will also have a positive impact on your belly fat. So that's that one. My next question is, what is the name given to the one day which marks 12 months without a period? It's called menopause. Perimenopause can be sort of 6 to 10 years when your hormones are fluctuating and you're going through probably the worst of your symptoms. Menopause is literally just one day, which marks the 12 months into your last period. Beyond that one day, you are post-menopausal. Next question. During the menopause, there is a decrease in the production of which hormones? You probably know this. Or you probably know most of it. Estrogen, progesterone, and androgens, male sex hormones or sex hormones. We actually have far more testosterone than you might think we do. What are the typical physical symptoms of menopause? Now, your symptoms might be completely different, so just, but I think the typical ones are hot flushes, anxiety, mood swings, depression, it can be, sleep disturbances, vaginal dryness. All of those can be alleviated by complementary therapies, as well as HRT, as well as vaginal dryness. In fact, I did an episode on that last week. So if you really want to, if you're struggling with sexual intimacy, vaginal dryness, painful sex, take a listen to that one. It'll explain a lot more to you. Next question. What is the term for the transitional stage before menopause, characterized by irregular periods and hormonal imbalances? If you were listening to what I said about 2 questions before, you'd get this one. Yeah, the answer is perimenopause. Perimenopause is that it can last between 6 and 10 years, and it's when basically your hormones are roller coastering all over the shop. What is the term for the sudden sensation of heat experienced by menopausal women? That's a really easy one, hot flushes or hot flashes. What are the 3 stages of menopause in chronological order? Probably know this one as well. Perimenopause, that's when your hormones are literally starting to go all over the shop. Menopause is the 1 day, marking the 12 months since your last period. And then postmenopause is all the time after that. What is osteoporosis, and why are postmenopausal women more susceptible to it? I've done a lot of Menopause Mondays on this one. Osteoporosis is a condition which is basically, it's weakened bones, it's brittle bones. And as our estrogen levels fall, we have a much higher risk of developing osteoporosis. Essentially, it's a bit like our muscle atrophy. As our estrogen levels fall, our muscles atrophy more quickly, and so do our bones. In fact, I did a bone health Menopause Monday probably about 6 weeks ago, so go and check that one out, because that's all about brittle bones and osteoporosis and how to avoid it, and also the myth that taking too much or taking calcium is going to help you prevent osteoporosis. If you're taking calcium as a supplement, please make sure, as a matter of urgency, that you go back and listen to that episode, which was just a few weeks ago. What are Kegel exercises, and how can they benefit women during and after the menopause? Kegel exercises are commonly known as pelvic floor exercises. Like our muscles, our pelvic floor atrophies, so we get weaker. It gets weaker. It's like a hammock, and it just gets weaker as we go through menopause. So if you're sneezing and peeing yourself, if you're jumping on a trampoline and finding that you're wetting yourself, if you are just not able to get to the toilet in time, make sure that you start your pelvic floor exercises. It is never too late to start, and they will help strengthen the pelvic floor. They will help support that entire girdle of your sexual organs. They can increase sexual sensation as well. A healthy pelvic floor is really, really important. One thing, and I hardly dare say this, one of the things that really frustrates me at the moment is that, like we have nappies for children, there are knickers or pants that help women live with pelvic floor dysfunction. If you are a woman who does not need to live with pelvic floor dysfunction, if there is no real need except for the fact you need to strengthen your pelvic floor, please do not get used to wearing knickers that allow you to pee yourself. If you have a dysfunction that has a valid reason, and you need them in order to help you live your normal life, that is absolutely fine. But if you are just, your pelvic floor is just weaker, and you think that, oh, that, this is just how I have to be. It's not. There is so much that you can do to strengthen your pelvic floor. So please just do a few exercises every day. On my YouTube, I have a playlist that is entirely dedicated to pelvic floor exercises. Take a look at that. If you can't find it, message me and I'll send you the link. Your pelvic floor is something that you do not need to suffer consequences from. This is the next question, because I went on for a long time on pelvic floor. What is vaginal atrophy and what are its common symptoms? Do you know? Okay, vaginal atrophy. It's weird doing this trivia thing without people writing on a piece of paper that I can see. Vaginal atrophy refers to the thinning of your vaginal tissues. It's often linked to dryness as well. It can be linked to inflammation because of the dryness. Again, last week's Menopause Monday goes into your vaginal health in a lot of detail. So make sure to refer back to that one if you want a little bit of help with your sort of sex life or your vaginal health. What psychological symptoms, so emotional symptoms, are often associated with the menopause? We've all been through these. Mood swings, irritability, anxiety, and depression. I just want you to also know that it's been proven that antidepressants in menopause, so if you're menopausal and you've been prescribed antidepressants to help with a low mood or depression, they are not seen as an effective treatment. So if you're not getting the results you need, go back to your healthcare provider. Do not suffer in silence. Absolutely do not suffer in silence. And if your healthcare provider ignores you, go and get another opinion and another opinion. I've got a Menopause Monday on suicidal tendencies, because not necessarily tendencies, but I can't remember what the title of it was. But if you're really struggling, see a therapist. But know that antidepressants prescribed by your doctor, traditional antidepressants, will not alleviate depression in menopause. Make sure that you're getting the right kind of help that you need. As frustrating as it might be, if you've been prescribed antidepressants and they're not working, go back to your doctor and tell them they are not working. If they fob you off, go and get a second opinion. If they fob you off, go get the opinion until somebody actually listens to you. What role do phytoestrogens play in managing menopausal symptoms? Do you know what a phytoestrogen is? They are plant-derived compounds, so things like soya products. If you Google it, everybody says there are no scientific studies to prove that phytoestrogens help alleviate menopausal symptoms in the medical world. It's one of those, I think, that sort of falls underneath the complementary holistic health banner. I think I eat a lot of phytoestrogens and my menopause symptoms are really easy to manage. So, I mean, I know I'm one in many, but I work with a lot of people who also take phytoestrogens, and they have a pretty good trip through the menopause as well. They can I missed this bit, they can help alleviate some menopausal symptoms by interacting with estrogen receptors in the body. So how can regular physical activity contribute to a smoother menopausal transition? I know this one off by heart, because physical activity helps gobble up your stress hormones. We have more stress hormones as we go through the menopause because our cortisol levels rise as our estrogen levels fall. They also flood your body with endorphins, which are feel-good hormones. Exercise is also really good for your gut health because it helps with motility, and as our estrogen levels fall, our digestive system does tend to slow down, so you might be getting more gas, more bloating, more constipation. So you need to do everything you can to support your gut health. Gut health is absolutely foundational for your mental health. 90% of our serotonin is created in the gut, not the brain. 50% of dopamine is created in the gut, not the brain. It's really, really important that you focus on good gut health. So prepare your own food, eat lots of plants, eat lots of fiber, I always include adaptogen herbs. That's an absolute no-brainer for me, but I also have digestive enzymes and pre and probiotics every day to make sure that I am maintaining my gut health. But back to the physical activity side of things, you'll also find that when you're doing regular physical activity, it's going to prevent that muscle atrophy, which you might be thinking, oh, I'm suddenly getting cellulite. It's likely to be muscle atrophy. It's the breakdown of your muscles, because again, estrogen falls, cortisol rises. Cortisol has a breaking down effect on our body, our collagen. We get more wrinkles, we sag more, our muscles get smaller, our bones get more brittle. So managing that cortisol rise is really, really important. Stress reduction techniques, activities are absolutely vital to you as you go through the menopause. So as well as helping strengthen your bones, as well as keeping your muscles strong. And listen, if you've not started, if you're one of those people who literally has never done a day's exercise in your life, please don't think it's too late to start. Of course you can start. And it's not going to be about you feeling like you're going to vomit and collapse in a pile of sweat. That's done with the 80s. We don't do it like that. It's healthy, easy, modifiable, to do at your pace, that challenges you within your envelope, but doesn't challenge you beyond that envelope. So if you need help getting started, please message me or click the link in my bio or beneath this, and I'll be more than happy to help you get started. But regular activity can also mitigate the risk of heart disease. As we go through the menopause, you want to be doing less cardio and more strength training, but also just know that a lot of strength training is also has a cardio aspect to it. There are times when I've been doing, I don't know, squats with maybe, today I did some with heavy squats and then lifted the arms above the head. That turned into a cardio exercise. I was huffing and puffing by the end of that rep, or that circuit. So just know that physical activity is an absolute no-brainer, really, for living a healthy life beyond the menopause. Next question. What is the connection between menopause and urinary incontinence? So having a weak pelvic floor. So again, reduced estrogen levels can weaken the pelvic floor and the urethral tissues, leading to urinary incontinence in menopausal women. I've kind of gone over that one before, so I'm not going to go over that in any great detail. How can mindfulness techniques help women manage the emotional challenges of menopause? This is huge. Now, you might think, oh, it's just woo-woo. I haven't got time for mindfulness. Listen, if you're struggling with your symptoms, make time for mindfulness. It all relates to keeping your cortisol levels as low as possible. Because as estrogen falls, cortisol rises. Cortisol rises, that spikes our insulin. So when you can practice mindfulness, not only are you going to help reduce that cortisol spike, so you're going to help to keep the belly fat off. If you're reducing the cortisol spike, you're going to you're going to reduce the amount of muscle atrophy and bone brittleness that you're going to get. But also with things like brain fog and anxiety, those are two very important symptoms of the menopause. If you can practice meditation, you are definitely going to be helping yourself combat brain fog, because you're just giving your brain space. And meditation isn't about having a brain that has nothing in it. It's about acknowledging that things come and go, thoughts come, but don't let them stick. Just let it go. Let it go past. In fact, I will drop the link to, because I shared this with one of my psychotherapy clients the other day. I will drop the link to a document that I made a little while back that has got some really nice meditation resources in it, and explains a little bit about meditation as well. So you're more than welcome to download that guide. So literally just click the link and you can download the guide, or it takes you straight to the guide and then you can just download it. So mindfulness is massive. What are some alternative and complementary therapies that you can explore to have relief from your menopausal symptoms? So herbal supplements, first of all, black cohosh is really good. Red clover, lemon balm. Lemon balm is something that might be growing in your garden. It's pretty ubiquitous. If you have it, it self-sets really well. Lemon balm tea is brilliant to help you manage anxiety. You can also buy it in tea bags, but they charge a fortune. You'd be better off to go and buy a lemon balm plant from the garden centre and just plant it in your garden and make your own tea, and just literally steep a few leaves in not boiling water, because boiling is going to like frazzle all the good enzymes in the tea leaves or the leaves of the plant. Hot water, and just let it sit for a while and drink lemon balm tea. That's what I would do. But you can buy the tea bags if you can't be bothered to grow your own plants. But check out, Google it, see what it looks like, because you've probably got it in your backyard and you don't actually realize it's there. Adaptogen herbs, I've mentioned before. I take 8 different adaptogen herbs every day. Those are ashwagandha, maca, chaga, reishi, maytake, cordyceps, astragalus, and schisandra. They all do slightly different things, but essentially they all help you manage your stress response. So they're managing that cortisol level again. They also help you manage cravings more effectively, because of course cortisol rises, so does insulin. It's incredible the effect that adaptogen herbs can have. I would also try massage. I mean, massage is lovely. I'm a sports massage therapist. I have never had anybody leave who didn't feel amazing afterwards. Massage is just beautiful. Reiki is a beautiful therapy. Aromatherapy, you could have hand or foot massage. When I work in hospice, I give a lot of people foot massages, and it's a beautiful thing to be able to offer to people. It's so relaxing. Head massage, you could you put some essential oils in a diffuser, have an Epsom salt bath, which is very high in magnesium. Magnesium is going to help relax you because it's a calming mineral. So there's all sorts of things that you can do to help you on a sort of a complementary therapy basis. It frustrates me, knowing that we still have the medical world and then the complementary therapy world, because complementary therapies have been going on for eons and they work really, really well. I think I'm in the complementary therapy world, so of course I'm gonna be biased to it, but I work with a lot of people and I see how effective it is. There are no negative side effects when you do complementary therapy. Everything about it is complementary to you. It's complementary to your wellness. There are no, you don't have to read the packet and go, whoa, well, this is going to help me with this, but oh my God, my liver might fail, or I might have this go wrong with me. There's nothing like that. It's all beautiful stuff. So anyway, that is the end. Congratulations, you have completed the trivia quiz. I just thought I'd just do something different for a change. I hope you found it fun. You probably answered or were able to answer the majority of the questions 100%, but sometimes it's just fun to sort of to understand how much we actually do understand, or to know how much we do understand. And if you've got anything you'd like me to cover in a future episode, please send me a message. Thank you for your company. I really do appreciate it. I hope you were busy taking notes. You can always listen to it again. And make sure to check out those previous episodes that I've had before, about the suicide risk, about the bone health and the calcium myth. There are so many different episodes in my playlist now for Menopause Mondays. There's well over 100, and there's plenty there to keep you busy. Sexual health, as well as the pelvic floor videos that I have in my own playlist. It's a public playlist on YouTube, so if you want to have that, just have a look in my channel. I'm sure that'll pop up. If you can't find it, just message me, and by all means download that meditations guide. I hope it will I hope it will help you. I'm useless at meditation. I wish I was better at it. For me, to be honest, my workouts help me deal with stress, I think, the most effective way possible. But things like sound healings as well. I mean, like the workout program, the workout platform that I use, I've lost all my words now. The workout platform that I use is, we also have meditations and sound healings and things like that on there. So, if you decide that you do want to get started with your wellness and you're a little bit intimidated, because fitness can be intimidating, I get that. You just know that there's a lot of stuff to help you emotionally as well, without having to get too sweaty in the process. So anyway, thank you for your company, and thank you for joining me, and I will talk to you soon.